welcome to the Random Horror Show. I am your horror podcast hostess, Keisha Lacey, coming straight out of the Alpine Curtain, better known as East Texas, and here at the Random Horror Show, where we film, commentate, being silly, being goofy, all that great stuff. Where we come back to the main point in horror, science fiction, fantasy, cult classics, and the obscure in movies, television shows, and books. And thank you for joining me. Thank you. Appreciate it. And this is a bonus. And I'm going to tell you that I had a really interesting experience when I watched Terrifier 2. Is it worth it? Is it enjoyable? You're going to get my motherfucking thoughts on Terrifier as it is anyways. Terrifier came out in October 6th. It was released in certain parts of certain theaters. It was very limited, so I was like, okay. Well, I just did it like a wedding and stuff, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go watch Terrifier. So I looked up the town that I was in. Actually, it was the town that I was married and I raised my children, and I was like, oh, okay, then, since I like DJ'd over there. So I found it, and I was like, whoop, pew, shot off to the theater, bought my ticket, and I'm just gonna say this right here: for a indie movie that has a budget of $250,000, grossed out to $8.88 million. This is a horror indie movie that is directed and concept of Damien Leone, of a clown named Art the Clown. We all know him as Art the Clown. And this is his sequel. And I'm just like, wow. That is like really amazing. Like how, you have this movie with this budget. And that is a pretty, that's not a bad budget for like an indie movie as it is anyways. But then when you see the gross, I mean, that's like bars on bars right there. You know what I'm saying? Like, from that amount, he just made that on top of right there. That's like pretty cool right there. That is really freaking cool. But like with Terrifier, it is deeply gross. It is so nasty. Is it really scary? Not really. But it does have its real gross, yucky parts. Like, it is like beyond me. Now, the biggest setback that I have about this is 2 hours and 28 minutes. It should have been wrapped up like in 30 to 40 minutes. I understand that, it's just like a buildup of like the continuation of art. But like it just took way too long for it, especially the ending. The third act just literally took it way too long. There is some pacing issues with Terrifier 2 that I noticed that I started to look up different places of what I'm going to eat. I think I need to eat tacos, so I ate fried tacos and stuff. When you eat the fried tacos, and it like it's fried in that little the transmission oil. Those are good. I love those tacos. Those were some good tacos right there. It was fried in that transmission oil and everything. It's not birria, but it was some fried tacos. It was real good though, for real. But I was like looking up the time, and I was like, when this bitch gonna be over with? Because I can't sit there for 2 hours. Only time I'm gonna sit through a 2-hour movie, that song gun better be foreign with some sit-down subtitles. Or shit. I'm gonna say it like this. I might be a little bit biased on this right here. I know we all sat through the Avengers, we all sat through Endgame for 3 hours, etc., waiting for the final, battle between Thanos and everybody else. I was still antsy during all that long ass movie. But the way how like the pacing was really good for me to like actually sit through a 3 hour movie like that. I mean, yeah, I was kind of moving around and trying to not get stiff, but this the thing right here. I don't care. I know this is like it's like comparing apples to oranges, but like, but the with the way how the time of like Endgame to like Terrifier 2 is that one has a little bit more action with it, you know, because Marvel's like all action and stuff like that. While one is has action, but it has more dialogue. Um, I think that like for a horror movie, I mean, it's really interesting for as a horror movie to be like that long, but I felt like if there was a little bit more of like a balance with it, I think it would have. I mean, it did very well in the box office, to tell you that, and I think like a lot of people were like really um intrigued that a 2 hour horror movie is being played in theaters, and that is not with the sales of like what they got like off the streaming. I think it's like Shutterbox or something like that. From that too, because they were doing that, and then they was like 3 days later it's gonna put it in Shutterbox or something like that. But then again, I'm like sitting there looking, and I'm looking through it, and I was like, there's still theaters is still playing this movie. Like, this is really interesting. This is a very interesting time for horror, especially having a 2 hour horror movie about a killer clown that just kills everything. Damien Leone just like put everything from the 80s. I mean, even from the Dreamscape, it has like a Nightmare on Elm Street Dream Warriors with it also. The main protagonist is Sierra, or I just call her Sierra Mist. Um, has a dream and Art is in it, and then she has that face to face with Art in the costume store because she had her wings burnt up, you know, from that dream that she had. And then there's a sword. There's a reason why the sword is in this movie. The interesting thing about Terrifier 2 is not only do you have like bits and pieces of like different homages to like 80s slasher and horror movies, is that you actually have a fantasy element in it. Yeah, it has a fantasy element, and that's what I recognized. I was like, oh wow, like this is very cool. Not only you have like a slasher of a clown, killing people and just maiming the shit out of them, but you also have like this fantasy um subgenre, like tied into it, because I see why it was like that is because of Sierra Mist and Jonathan. Those are the two children that's like, they're actually like teenagers, but anyways, but they are dealing with the loss of their father. And I see where the fantasy element comes in, because you know what, on crypto, I swear on crypto, that's like some never ending story shit right there. She remember a never ending story where Bastion, his mom passed away, and his dad was like, oh dude, like off of Riptide, if y'all ever watched that show Riptide. um but yeah, like that was his dad, and they lost his, he lost his mom, and then of course it got like beat up, and like he was getting bullied by those kids, and when he was going to school, and he went into that bookstore, and he picked up that like never ending story book, and that's when he went to school, and he got, he was like, forget it, I'm good in with this book and everything. So you got like that fantasy type thing. And also like with Sierra Mist like turned into She-Ra, Xena Warrior Princess, and Taarna off of heavy metal, because you do see that heavy metal, feel with it, especially with the sword part. And she's getting ready for battle. So yeah, if y'all watch Heavy Metal, the movie 1981, I also used to collect heavy metal magazines myself, though I was not supposed to watch heavy metal as a little kid, because of it's not for children, it was for adults. But I was very intrigued with heavy metal, especially with Taarna. Um, shit, I want to swim across that little old pond and get ready for battle and get a damn sword and have my little old bird flying around while I go and fight evil, in the universe. But with the Tarakians, with her like, race of people with Tarna, they when they get ready to go into battle like that, they die. Like after they done, they dead. They die. They have a warrior's death. But yeah, I've seen a lot of that in this movie with the fantasy part, especially with Sierra Mist. The girl that plays Sierra Mist, um, she was alright. His acting was alright. But like it was a trip though. Like when I was in the theater, I mean, I was like still like hyped up on DJing, like hypeness and everything. So I was like hyping some of the people in the movie theater. And was like, y'all ready for Terrifier? Kind of sound like Sam Kinison. You ready for Terrifier? So like yeah, I was like sitting there, like it was a couple of times I like cracked jokes and shit because it was that part where the mom got upset with Jonathan because he had this journal which has his father's beautiful art, and there was actually Art the Clown that was in this journal, drawings, sketches that he had. And of course the character that his daughter Sierra Miss, she did the costume from. Um, where she got her idea from, because he used to tell her the stories, of this character that he made, and tell her during bedtime, etc., etc. And that's the reason why she got the costume like that, like a warrior with some wings and shit. Church's chicken, Red Bull got wings. You know what I'm saying? But she gets upset because I understand like the mom's point of view of like, okay, this is like what made him go insane. He like believed in this clown is like coming to kill everybody and blase blase, and then my son has this, and I don't want him to turn into his dad, or have like, it's already bad that we're already going through so much. So she starts ripping the pages like out of the journal, the little sketchbook that his dad had, and which Jonathan kept for a long time because she was looking for it and she wanted to throw it away because it gave like so many bad memories, what was going on. And in a way, I was like, well, shit, that's the reason why he killed his ass, because of your ass. Like, you was already like this when you was married to, like, their dad. I'm like, oh my gosh, shame on you. You're, like, such a bitch. But she did. She was a bitch. But for real, though, I understand her bitchiness, but she didn't have to rip that, she didn't have to do that to that boy. Like, bro, I was like, lady, that's the only thing that he have of his father. Don't you not understand that? That's a connection to him. That's a connection. I'm like, but you don't have to be all like that though. Like, everybody hurt, but you didn't have to do that to your son now. Shit, that's the reason why he took off running and shit. I would too. I'd be pissed off too. I'd be pissed the fuck off. But sadly enough, but in a way, it was kind of funny though, cause she got her face blown off by Art. And he fed her mashed potatoes, and I was like, you know what? That's from you cooking it at dry, loveless, seasonless ass, burnt ass pork chops that you did in the beginning of the movie. And you feed them kids these dry ass, punk ass hopes and dreams, and crushing them and shit with your damn food. You could at least put one thing down Baby, put one thing down. See, and I'm a single mom too, because I be like, let me put one thing down. Or I tell my son, like, shh, don't leave me alone. I'm cooking. If you come in and you mess with me and everything, you're gonna taste some anger and you're gonna taste some ass whooping in your food. You know what I'm saying? So he leave me alone, and now I cook with like love, and my food come out delicious and everything because I learned how to put a lot of shit down. Don't be multitasking and everything, because that's not gonna work. Because especially when you're cooking food and you're eating it, see, that's the reason why her kids was like that. They was all depressed and shit like that. Not just because their father killed himself and he was dead. Is that she was cooking them dry ass, fucked up ass pork chops. I'm so sad. But anyways, but they were talking about some Oscar talks and things like that, or submitting Terrifier for Academy Award and everything else. I'm gonna say it like this: Academy Award, hell no. But I would tell you this right here: the soundtrack to Terrifier 2 is so amazing. It is literally beautiful. It is haunting. It's just everything about the soundtrack. And it's also the music is composed by Paul Wiley. Paul Wiley is a really talented artist. He was with like Marilyn Manson. I mean, you know what I'm saying? He was a guitarist with Marilyn Manson, so many other bands. But yeah, I mean, who else is better to compose the soundtrack to Terrifier 2? You gotta have somebody that knows their shit. And Paul Wiley has really done that, because throughout the whole movie, the soundtrack was like so freaking amazing. I'm talking about down to like the music that was playing in Sierra Mist room whenever she was fixing up her costume. I mean, even down to like, just everything about this soundtrack. The soundtrack is amazing, and I was listening to it. I was like, damn, that soundtrack is like off the chain right there. Creepy, eerie, unsettling. I mean, just everything. Now, I'm going to tell you about this. The kills on this bitch, it was good gosh. I mean, you talking about nasty. And I'm talking about they nasty. Baby, not that good nasty. Like you get down and dirty nasty. I'm talking about, oh my God, I'm finna go puke. That nasty. It was that nasty. The best kill that I liked was she was such a the cool best friend and everything. I hate that happened to her. God damn, this shit was so messed up. I mean, it was so messed up. The one part that really got me, it wasn't the way how he stabbed her, pulled her fingers and everything apart. It was the part that he took bleach and salt and rubbed it all into her wounds and poured that bleach all over her. Oh my goodness, alive. I was like, no, that got me. That got me really hard. I was like, hell to the no. This motherfucker is so diabolic, sick and twisted. Art, like, really, art is actually my favorite. I'm not saying that I'm like, oh, I love clowns. I still don't like clowns, but Art grew on me, and he is so hilarious. I just laughed at Art all the time. He was just funny. He was just funny and sadistic and gross and terrible all at the same time. He is an evil, nasty little motherfucker. He really, really is. But yeah, that scene was just so horrific with the bleach and the salt. I'm like, I can't do this. The best thing about that is when her mom comes in and screams her head off, and I felt that was so genius of like him to cut the mom's head off, get her braids out, and put the candy on there, and then of course serve candy to all the trick-or-treaters out there. I mean, they were so just happy to get candy out of the real owner's head, and that was very clever for them not to like say, oh, there's a strange clown that's actually came and killed two people, but they're just like, oh, it's Halloween. Like, this is so amazing. So, yes, yes, I love that. I love that so much. But to wrap it up with Terrifier 2, um, Academy Award, Oscar, no, definitely not. The soundtrack, yes, that is worth an award. It is definitely worth an award. I That's what I would agree to. The soundtrack is definitely Oscar and Academy Award worthy because that is a great soundtrack. Um, the two child actors, oh my gosh, the little girl like really scared the shit out of me. Like she was so terrified, it was so crazy. Jonathan, the guy who plays Jonathan, he did a very excellent job. Even the mom that was like a super bitch and everything, she did very well of convincing me that she is really a bitch. She did very well in this. Um, the gross factor, it is like way up to like 12. It really is. It's really up way up to 12. I was just like, this is bonkers. And I really like that nastiness with it, that nasty gross. The effects were like just absurd and just wild. I love my shit like that. And I give it like really, I give Terrifier like a C plus because it was the pacing. It was just way too long. Um, there was some parts about it that I was just like, meh. I mean, even I was like looking up for food and everything, and I was like checking the time, like what time is this movie in? Now that's the bad thing about like Terrifier, but other than that, it was not bad. It was not bad at all. It is enjoyable. Yes, it is. It is funny. The hell it is because I was sitting there laughing my ass off through this movie, and then there was parts of it I'm like, God damn! I'm like, the fuck, if you got a movie that's like that, and you're in the theater and people around you, you like, damn, like that, that's it's something worth watching. But I'm just gonna warn you: if you have 2 hours and 28 minutes, you better put your shit on Do Not Disturb. Make sure you take pee breaks, before the movie, before you start it. Um, I feel that this movie is going to continue to make a little bit more money, probably like throughout the end of this year. Um, you know, it is like one of its kind for it to be an indie, and especially being in major theaters. It actually have ran what it was supposed to run in theaters because you had like a limited time to watch it, and then it just like got very popular. So like there's a lot of theaters that like still that still plays it. I mean, even it's on Amazon Prime Video. I mean, everywhere. I mean, if this movie is still in theaters and then is like on streaming service like like Amazon Prime, excuse me, it's doing very well. Now, what I say, like, it is like the hype is too damn hyped. It's too damn hyped, and I wish like people would be realistic about like not hyping something up like so much like this. Now, I do appreciate like a lot of things about like how the splatter, the everything about art, like who he is, and things like that. But I don't feel that like it shouldn't, like, I think we just need to take it as a grain of salt, like especially in the horror community, that like, yo, this independent film by Damien Leone is in a theater, and it is not a safe horror, and people enjoyed it, and I feel that people can enjoy it, and I know there's some people that complain about it. I did like what I did when after I got out of it and everything, my first when I got in the car, like I had to smoke two cigarettes. I had to smoke two cigarettes because A, it's being too freaking long. And two, I felt that like it could have been a little bit better. The pacing could have been better. A lot of the stuff, the shots and stuff could have been tightened up. I would have felt like, oh wow, like yeah, it's terrified, but then it kind of like deflated me a little bit because of like it's just too damn long. It was just way too damn long. And the heebie jeebies just thinking about like how it's not the kills or whatever and the blood and the gore, it's just how fucking long it is and everything. Unless it's a foreign movie with subtitles, now I'm down for that shit. But this is not a foreign movie with subtitles, so I like yeah, you take it a little bit too long with this movie. But I do appreciate Damien for like bringing this like about especially with clowns and stuff, killer clowns. And we do need some little bit of a fresh blood, especially in the supernatural villain, you know, Hall of Fame, or you know, have some nominees and stuff like that. um I feel that like for art to be a clown other than Pennywise, that it's like touch them, feel them, smell them, taste them, everything else like that, other than Pennywise, of being like a cosmic entity. I don't know what the hell art is. Is he's like superhuman or some shit like that? I don't know. But I like Art. He really is. He really became very likable for me, even though I'm not a big clown person. But he is. He's really likable. I like his brutality. I like his style. I really do. But the fuck is his motive? I don't know. Maybe he just likes killing. I don't know. I just don't get the whole point of like just killing a whole bunch of people that you don't know. But okay, whatever. But art does. I think art does like my art might tell us one day, but then again, he's just gonna be silent on it. Pun intended. Oh gosh. But that is my take on Terrifier 2. If you still want to watch it in theaters, are really great. Just getting that cinematic experience of watching a horror movie, especially this one. This is nasty and gory and not a safe horror. Keep look for 'em. I know down here where I'm at, we're still playing the hell out of this motherfucker. It did say like at the end where there was a special message from Damien Leone. We didn't stay for that shit. I'm just letting you know, like some of us and everything, that's a little bit too long of a movie. We're not gonna stay, but we're gonna make sure that you good. We supported you, sir. But we just did not sit around to watch you after the credits of what you're gonna talk about because we tired and we gotta go home. We gotta drink some beer, we gotta drink some wine, we gotta drink some whiskey. And some of them had to go get ready to go to church to go see Jeezy Creasy. You know what I'm saying? Praise Jesus. Praise the Lord. But anyways, I hope y'all guys enjoyed it. That was under 30 minutes of Terrifier 2. And my experience with it. It's a C. So it's not bad. At least I didn't rip it apart. But hey, we can at least enjoy Terrifier with two genres mixed in with fantasy and horror. You got some homage to like some 80s slasher movies, you know, American Werewolf in London, and then of course Dream Warriors. The gore factor is really great. The kills are like fucking amazing, and there's two child actors in this that was just so fantastic playing their parts. Uh, it was just the worst thing, and a noteworthy, also Academy nominated soundtrack by Paul Wiley. I would like to see that right there. But no further ado, thank you for joining me. I am Keisha Lacey, and this is the Random Horror Show.